Hello, Francesca here with the Colour Potential cards. It is Ash Wednesday today, a very, very important day in the Christian and particularly the Catholic Christian calendar. Not all areas of the Christian religion celebrate, or mark, I should say, Ash Wednesday. And if you're one of those, I'm just going to tell you a bit about Ash Wednesday. And it's the time when the faithful go to church and they have a cross marked on their forehead in ash. And it's to symbolise the beginning of Lent. Lent being the 6-week build-up to Easter and a time of giving up something that you really enjoy. So it could be food, it could be something else. But the point is to take something that is really important to you and just forgo it for 6 weeks. In a way of remembering, in a way of thinking about the religion, thinking about you and the religion. And it's to mark the time when Christ went into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. And the build-up to Easter includes Palm Sunday, which is a week before Easter. And it's the week when Christ rode into Jerusalem, was highly feted, and one of the traditions of the time was if someone that you were really honoured to see, you would put something down on the ground in front of them, a bit like the red carpet that we use today. And one very symbolic plant for the Jews at that time were palms. So palm leaves. So palm leaves were laid down, and Palm Sunday, a week before Easter, a week before Christ is crucified, it is used to remember that. You know, this great celebration of Christ arriving, and then of course there's the Passion of Christ, all the stages till he dies and is resurrected. Now the reason I'm mentioning Palm Sunday is traditionally the ashes would have been made of burnt palms from nearly a year before, a few weeks less than a year, the year before when they celebrated Palm Sunday. So there you go. And you may have had Shrove Tuesday yesterday. My children used to love Pancake Day. I didn't quite so much. Making pancakes seemed quite a lot of effort to me. Anyway, Shrove Tuesday traditionally is all about using up the rich foods that you would then be giving up during the fasting time. So hence milk, eggs, butter would be made into pancakes, and this has a lot of folklore all around it. There's lots of different traditions around this country, you know, pancake racing, etc. So Shrove Tuesday, I hope you had a great one yesterday. Anyway, all that preamble, we're going to look at the grey cards today. Ash Wednesday seemed appropriate to me. As you know, there are 17 colours in this pack, grey being one of them. Grey, a beautiful, beautiful colour. And what I write on the page about grey, which has got its history, its religious connotations, which are very few because of it being that mixture of black and white. Grey is soft and furry and sleek and sophisticated and depressing and sturdy and cool and warm and boring and reliable and tranquil. That's how I start these pages off. It gets less sort of, well, you could say badly written. I would say enthusiastically written as it goes down. Shades of grey, grey cells, grey economy, that kind of thing. Hercule Poirot and his little grey cells. So, you can take this reading, well, you can take any of them any way you like, but if you are going into Lent and it's very important to you and you are doubting that you might get through it with what you've chosen to give up, or that in the past you haven't got through the 6 weeks and you're a little bit worried about it, then pick a card to help you maintain your resolve. If you're not religious and Ash Wednesday does not mean anything to you, then you can take this reading as something you would like to give up. Something maybe that you've been doing or eating, it could be food, or just something that you're just thinking, I am sick of doing this over and over again. whatever it is, and you would like to give it up, and one of these cards will help you. So pick one of the cards and we'll see what they have to say. As I say, they're all the grey cards. Let's see which one's coming up first, and it is support. Fabulous, fabulous card. Now the reason support is grey is it's to do with the what's left to us of the ancient world. So buildings, statues. Now, at the time, they would have been highly coloured. I mean, garishly coloured. Statues in full drag, buildings often in multicolours. Those beautiful grey columns that we have would have been multicoloured with the capitals a different colour. So what's interesting to us is, or to me anyway, is that through time, what we have inherited is this grey stone or marble, this very quiet, this very sleek, this very classical colour. And I think it's really interesting that all the buildings that we have built in the neoclassical style are all this grey. So, you know, whatever neoclassical building you think of, those columns will very unlikely be highly coloured. And so it's a quirk of history that we have inherited what is very rational architecture, very much about rules. The colours would have belied that, but what we have inherited is this rational, beautiful, strong yet not shouting architecture and sculpture. So support, it's lasted all this time. The colour's gone, but the grey is still there. So do you need support to give up this thing? Do you need someone who will check in on you? Could you ask a friend or a partner or whoever to say, how are you doing with, I don't know, giving up caffeine? That would be a big thing in this house. Do you need support, or can you support yourself? You don't necessarily have to have support from outside. Is there something you could do to support yourself so that you either give it up or you give it up for Lent, whichever one you're choosing to concentrate on? What would support you? Caffeine, not having tea bags in the house, I'm guessing, but that kind of thing. Support, what would support you? I know if you've picked card number 1, you're already thinking of something. Right, the second grey card. Help us to give up what we don't want anymore. Oh, God, I love these cards. I know I created them, I should know them backwards, but they always surprise me. Integrity, integrity. Oh. In icon painting, Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox icon painting, there are very strict rules about the colours you can use. You can and can't use, and grey is a colour you can't use. And in fact, there's no religious symbolism about grey in certainly any of the Western religions, because it is this mixture colour. It's not black and it's not white. Black and white, absolutely you can use it and have to use in icon painting. But grey, no. The only way grey gets used is to show humility. So monks will dress in colours that are very unflamboyant. So it will be black or grey or brown to show humility, to show poverty. And at a time when clothes and the ability to afford very richly coloured clothes was very highly monitored. You know, only certain people were allowed to wear certain colours, as I've mentioned in quite a few of my posts. Anyway, videos. Integrity, I think the whole reason that grey for me is integrity is exactly that it's not black and white. It's very easy to be black or white about something. You know, it's very clear, I'm definitely this, I'm definitely not that. It's when you get the mixture, it's when you get the less dramatic, the less clear, the less delineated situations, opinions, issues, that it becomes more difficult. And that's when your integrity comes in. That is why integrity is grey. So What is it about your integrity that you could put in place that will help you to get through Lent? I shouldn't put it like that. I mean, I don't observe Lent, but to celebrate Lent in the way that you really want to, by managing to get to the end, having given up whatever you've given up. It's your integrity. It's your contract with yourself. So non-religious, you want to give up something that's been bothering you for a long time and you just can't quite do it. Your integrity, your contract with yourself will help you do that. And the last one is, I can't remember what the last one is now. Stillness. And stillness, this is absolutely about ash. It's about cobwebs. It's about the silence of aftermath. It's about fog. You know how fog dampens all the sound and everything becomes very still. It's quite loud in a way, if you see what I mean, a loud dampened sound, but it becomes quite still. If you think of Miss Havisham's house in all the cobwebs, it's quite still. The fire, when it's burnt out and there's just ash there, it's still. Stillness is so important. So before you decide to give up this thing you're going to give up, go quietly inside yourself and be still for a moment and see what comes up. I'm guessing some really helpful ideas will come up, but just be still with yourself. Still with the grey, and see what happens. I think this could go a long way. Okay, those are the grey cards. Support, integrity, stillness. Ah, they're so beautiful. I wish you a wonderful Ash Wednesday, and if you are continuing to celebrate all through Lent, I wish you joy of that too. And thank you for joining me in grey.